You read the question once, then twice, then 3 times. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. No matter what you do, nothing is sticking in your brain. It's not just pissing you off, it's straight up frustrating. So frustrating that you start blaming yourself. But listen, my friend, you're not the problem. The way you're studying is. I'm going to show you some tricks that'll make learning way easier. Techniques so effective, even CIA agents use them. Bro, I'm telling you, in a week or even less, if you use their techniques the right way, you can learn anything you want. And the first technique you need to learn is how to break patterns. This trick works because the human brain naturally decides what to keep and what to forget. Spies and even magicians use that to manipulate attention, because whatever they highlight is what your brain remembers. For example, when spies are on a mission, they stick to the same routine for months, doing everything the same way until people stop noticing. Because once something becomes predictable, the brain stops paying attention. It just blends into the background. So when the spy suddenly changes a really small detail, like parking in a different spot or taking a new route, no one even notices. Since everyone was so used to the old routine, even small changes slipped right past them. So how the hell will you use this trick to improve how you study? If you're used to studying in the same location, like your room or basement, you just need to switch to a different place, like maybe your backyard so you can touch some grass, or a coffee shop for some background noise. These small changes are super effective because when something feels different, your brain automatically snaps to attention, making it easier to remember. CIA agents don't actually train in their mom's basement or in their rooms. They learn in the middle of goddamn chaos, gunfire, sirens, people shouting. Yet despite all the noise and chaos, they come out even sharper. That's because the brain wasn't designed for perfect silence. It actually gets stronger when it learns to block out distractions. You can train your brain the same way. Instead of studying in dead silence, try adding some music or background noise, like cafe sounds, city traffic, or even a busy office. Then set a quick alarm every 7 minutes to snap yourself back to reality. At first, it'll feel annoying, but over time, your brain will adapt. The more you practice, the better you'll get at focusing deeply. Another trick spies use is distraction. They use big movements to hide small ones. Just think of it like your favorite spy movies. Do you remember when a character dramatically adjusts their coat while secretly slipping a note to someone? That big movement hijacks your attention, making the smaller one almost invisible. This works because your brain naturally filters out what seems unimportant. You can use this to your advantage by exaggerating movements or tying information to something unusual. For example, try acting something out in an over-the-top way, making it ridiculously funny, or linking it to an unexpected image. And it might look stupid, but it's effective, because the more surprising it is, the more your brain flags it as important, and the more likely you are to remember it. Timing is also important. Spies strike when people aren't paying attention, slipping past unnoticed while the world is distracted. You can do the same with your brain. Right after waking up, just before bed, or right after a workout, those are prime times when your mind is wide open, ready to absorb information. Use these mental gaps to your advantage, and you'll start picking things up without even trying. But it's not just when you learn that matters. Where you learn makes a huge difference too, because certain places lock in memories. Like when you visit your old school, out of nowhere you'll naturally remember some memories you actually forgot. Spies use this to their advantage. They don't leave messages just anywhere. They place them in specific spots to make recall easier. You can do the same with a technique called the memory palace, which helps you tie information to familiar locations. Think of it like this. When you connect what you're learning to places you already know, your room, your kitchen, or the streets you walk every day, it sticks better. The stronger the connection, the easier it is to remember. So if you're trying to memorize a new language, pin tricky words to your mirror. If you're studying for a test, stick key formulas on your laptop screen. The more you see them, the deeper they sink in. Also, while you're studying, you have to think strategically. Just like a CIA agent gathering info, you need to block out distractions, focus on what really matters, and instead of cramming everything at once, start with the most important information. For example, if you're learning a new language, focus on the most commonly spoken words rather than the difficult ones, because those common words are what people actually use when they talk. But it will also help you pick up the language faster and start using it naturally. The same goes for studying for an exam. Don't try to memorize every single page of your textbook. Pinpoint the core concepts that will help you understand the subject deeply and answer most of the exam questions. Also, when you're studying, keep in mind that not all sources are reliable, and not all knowledge is useful. So, just like a CIA agent, you have to question everything. Where did this information come from? Could there be another explanation? Just like a spy, you need to challenge assumptions, look at multiple perspectives, and avoid rigid thinking. For example, when studying history, don't settle for one version of events. Seek out different viewpoints, cross-check facts, and train your mind to see the bigger picture. Once you've gathered and analyzed the right information, the next step is action. CIA agents don't just gather intelligence for no reason. They use it to make decisions and carry out missions. If you're learning a new skill, don't just read about it, apply it. If you're studying psychology, test out theories in real-life interactions. If you're trying to master a subject, teach it to someone else. If you're trying to get really good at something, teach it to someone else. Putting things into your own words helps you make sense of them. Figure out what you don't fully get yet, and actually remember them better. But even practicing and teaching won't do much if you don't have a plan. It's easy to put things off or keep going in circles without real progress. That's why having deadlines can make a huge difference. CIA agents don't have unlimited time to get things done. They work under strict time limits, so they have to stay sharp, think fast, and take action. You can do the same. Instead of vaguely saying, "I'll learn history this month," set a challenge. I'll summarize 5 key historical events in the next 48 hours. Instead of saying, "I want to improve my public speaking," promise yourself you'll record a 2-minute speech every day for the next 30 days. Deadlines create urgency. They push you to really connect with what you're learning, helping you understand and remember things better. But techniques alone aren't enough, because before you can train your memory, you have to train your mindset. Spies manipulate attention to control what people notice, and you do the same with your own thoughts. If you believe memorization is difficult or that you're just bad at remembering things, your brain will work against you. The real trick isn't misdirection, it's breaking the mental barriers you've set for yourself. Think about it. Before you can absorb information quickly, you have to believe that you can. Magicians and spies don't second-guess themselves. They don't hesitate or overthink. They train their moves until everything feels effortless. Memorization or learning works the same way. The more you train your brain to believe it's possible, the easier it becomes. And that belief isn't built overnight. It's strengthened through small wins. Each time you successfully recall something, it reinforces the idea that you can do it. Even a tiny sense of accomplishment is enough to push you forward. That kind of positive reinforcement strengthens memory the same way it builds habits. The more you practice, the easier it gets, until memorization or learning feels natural. And that's the goal. True mastery is about making the complex look simple, and that kind of ease only comes through preparation. Memorization follows the same pattern. If you want to commit something to memory in just 1 week, you have to approach it like a well-rehearsed performance. It's not about forcing information into your brain. It's about using the right techniques to make recall automatic. Structured methods like mnemonics, visualization, and repetition help lock in information efficiently. Testing yourself over and over strengthens your ability to retrieve what you've learned. The more you do it, the more natural it becomes. But before anything else, understanding is key. Just like a magician needs to know every detail of their trick before performing it, you need to fully grasp the material before expecting it to stick. Because at its core, memorization isn't about raw intelligence, it's about strategy and confidence. When you prepare the right way, remembering things feels natural, almost like a well-practiced trick. Whether it's sports, public speaking, or anything else you want to get good at, it's the prep that makes you feel confident, even without trying.